Cool. Yeah.
Can you send a picture to Uncle Jackson and Aunt Abby?
Poor Arthur. He's all tuckered out. Hi, and welcome to my June reading vlog, starting on June the 3rd. And I thought you all would enjoy seeing cute little Arthur fall asleep in his high chair at lunch. He woke up really early today, and I thought he was going to need a morning nap because yesterday he needed a morning nap, but for some reason he didn't today. So, I do feel happy about the progress that I made. I feel happy that I made some progress through my currently reading folder on Goodreads. However, I still have, I think, about 16 other books and then 18 total in my currently reading because of, like, I'm reading one aloud to Peter and then I started new books. But I think I knocked off like 4 that were just sitting there loitering. So I'm just going to try to balance this month the books in my currently reading folder on Goodreads, the like summary library books that I hauled, and I have a bunch that will continue to come in throughout the course of the summer. I'm just like, way down the list as far as holds go, waiting for them. And then I hauled a bunch of books at the beginning of the year with Christmas money, and they are more like kind of lighthearted modern classics that I was thinking of for spring, and now here we are in June and I didn't really read any of them except for Someone at a Distance, and I really want to get to those. So and my buddy reads that I have, I'm going to try to just strike a nice balance between all of those. I'm thinking of, for every book that I finish off my currently reading, then I'm allowed to start another one, something like that. So what my current projects are, I started the last Chronicles of Barset, and I'm currently in the 8th chapter, and we're supposed to read 3 chapters a day, so I only have to finish chapter 8 and chapter 9. I am enjoying this, but I realized I love the audiobook narrator so much. David Shaw Parker is his name. My hand was cramping up. So I'm just doing the audiobook of this, and I don't have any other audiobooks going. I'm waiting for the audiobook of Wondersmith, and I'm like 2 weeks away. But I'd really enjoy having that as an audiobook, and I might as well not bite off more than I can chew and check out other audiobooks and just have that be my audiobook right now, because I don't want to then rack up even more books am I currently reading. I'm hoping to never go above 20 and then slowly get it down. Maybe by the end of the month be at like 15 or 14. So I've just decided knocking down my currently reading is going to be a just summer-long project. I really don't want to feel like I just have to read those. I want to have more freedom. And some of them I'm really close to being done with, and so those will be easy ones to knock off. But other than that, I am reading the Firebird still. I am over halfway. I am 300 pages, and there are 530 pages in that. So I actually am going to try to sit and just read 100 pages. Robin is way ahead of me, but I fly through those. So, and we're in Russia now, which is very interesting. And then this morning, it was Peter's movie morning, and I read the first 100 pages of Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors. It's an Indian-American gender swap retelling of Pride and Prejudice. I'm really enjoying it. I'm finding this to be like kind of what I was hoping for in a light summer read. It's one of my library checkouts too. So I'm now going to spend around an hour reading some more of this. And then, because it's nap time, and then spend around an hour reading this. And hopefully I'll make some real headway with those. And then while I'm prepping supper and all of that, listening to finishing up those chapters of the last Chronicle of Barset.
How about we do this?
Oh, do you want to do spinny thing? Your Vina stroller cannot go in the spinny. I'll hold the stroller.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the museum.
You're going to the museum? Wow. Down the big slide? We are. You excited?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm going to go down the big wooden slide.
Are you going to go down on your belly or your bummy?
My belly.
Your belly. Watch out!
Let the boys know first.
Woo! Are you talking to Daddy on the phone? Say hi, Daddy.
Dada.
Are you smearing the peanut butter all over? Mm-hmm. It is a very exciting book day. I just found out that Wondersmith, the next in the Morgan Crow Nevermore series, the audiobook, my hold came in. I'm so excited. And the only reason I've been waiting so long is I wanted to do the audiobook because the first one, the audiobook was so fun. It just was like it was extra added fun. And then Becky, if you're watching, thank you again from, she's alias Twiggy66 on Instagram and is one of the lovely ladies who host Talking Amongst Our Shelves. And she sent me this package. She had told me this past weekend she was going to this neat kind of like book sale sort of thing. And then went to a used bookstore also that weekend and asked me what I wanted. And I told her the couple things, but first let's look at this card. I love this so much. She said she has a whole set of these, the Disney Designer Collection. And it dresses up the Disney princess as whatever decade the movie came out in. And she knows me so well. She knows how much I love Cinderella. And I love this card. So I really loved the card. And then she got me 4 Phyllis Whitney. Look at these covers. I mean, can they get any better? So Rainbow in the Mist. And none of these had I read. I guess pause if you want to read the synopsis. And then The Golden Unicorn. Oh, they say that the shadow of the unicorn will fall over the face of the moon and that someone in that house will die. Oh my goodness. And then we have here The Trembling Hills. Oh. So in case you haven't heard of Phyllis Whitney, because I guess I didn't vlog when I read my first one from her, Purple Amethyst, she writes gothic romances. I recommend her for fans of Mary Stuart, the Ebony Swan. And she's like the American, like she's kind of the American Mary Stuart, although hers were heavier on the romance. And it was written so well. I really enjoyed it. Just so compelling. And then look, she found The Storm Sister, which is the next one that I'm going to pick up. And it's Ali's story set in Norway. I cannot wait. It was so cool though that was, I said, if you see any Lucinda Riley, and this was the one that she saw. And then she got me Private Enterprise by Angela Thirkell. And Second World War Ends. There's a war widow and her unmarried sister-in-law, and they live in a cottage at Southbridge. Oh boy. The young woman's arrival and the promise of romantic possibilities it carries create a delightful stir among the bachelors and matchmakers of Barsetshire society. Oh, so exciting. And then lastly, I did not own Flowers in the Rain and Other Stories by Rosamund Pilcher. Rosamund Pilcher, however you say it. I'm very, very much excited for this. So to top off that mail day, then I won, I think it was early last week, a giveaway on Lucinda Riley's Instagram. So it's just really meant to be me liking Lucinda Riley. And they just said, Kate, congratulations on winning a signed copy of The Royal Secret. With kind regards, Olivia. PA to Lucinda Riley. And so here is The Royal Secret. And what I love is that her books seem like they're so readable and they're long. I love a good chunky book that I can just zoom through. So I guess you can pause if you want to look at the synopsis there. So a very exciting book day. So we went earlier to Smith Playground is the name of the playground that we were at. I don't feel like all that wonderful today, but I was like, you know what? I feel like I can like push through and take us somewhere, because we'd gone to the park in the evenings, but we've been staying in all morning, and then afternoon is quiet rest time. And I'm glad I did. It was good to get out of the house, and now it's quiet rest time, and we're just going to stay in all evening. And I have around 150 pages left of Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors. I am so hooked. I'm just going to spend the afternoon. I think I'm going to catch up on Last Chronicle of Barset and play a little bit of Matchington Mansion. And then, though, just try to finish Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors, even this afternoon if I could. I've still got a while for quiet rest time. It's really just pulled me in, and I think she's done such a great job translating it to a couple different cultures, because he is Darcy in this one is half Indian and half Rwandan, and then Elizabeth Bennet in this one is Indian American. And so she's put different cultural issues in there that just work really well and are fitting for the story. And then Darcy is a chef in this, and has the food that's described in here just sounds so amazing. And they just had the scene went down, spoilers for Pride and Prejudice. So the scene just went down where like it would have been the proposal. So she tells him that she likes him, and the banter that went back and forth, like, it's on, and I can't wait to see how things are going to be resolved. So I've been really pleasantly surprised by this retelling, and I'm desperate to know like how it's going to play out. I'm positive it's going to be a happy ending, but I'm just still enjoying it so much.
Don't build your hopes up.
The reason they're not going to stop me this time is because I'm a man with a vision. A man with a vision.
Wait.
Everyone, and I'm here with Peter because we're going to do a little book review. We've been reading aloud. We started the Little House on the Prairie series, and we really enjoyed the first one. Do you remember what it's called?
Little House in the Big Woods.
That's right. Now, Peter, what did you find interesting in this book?
I found interesting about something that Laura was doing that was naughty.
Oh, what did Laura do that was naughty?
She said, "I hate Sundays."
She said, "I hate Sundays." Yep. And she started kicking around, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think was funny in this book?
Of how the bear was like kind of wobbling.
Oh, the bear was kind of wobbling?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the bear with the honey? The bear that... Which bear?
The one in the park with Pa was up in a tree.
Oh, yes. That bear wobbling. Yes. All right. And then who was your favorite character in this book?
Pa.
Pa? What did you like about Pa? I'm going to show the camera.
I liked about Pa.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how he shot bears.
You liked how he shot bears?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And and got venison, which I don't know why they call it venison.
Deer. When it's deer meat, it's called venison.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay, so you picked out your favorite pictures. So how about I'll open it up for you to the first one, and you can show.
That one.
What's going on in this picture?
He's making traps.
He's making traps. That's right.
Wait, I want to hold it.
You want to hold it? Okay.
And Laura was right there.
Mm-hmm.
Is watching him.
That's right.
And let's go.
All right. The next picture that you like.
Let me hold it.
Okay, I'll let you hold it. What's going on this one?
They're fixing the bed.
They're fixing the bed.
They're fixing the bed with Mary right here is older than Laura, who's right there.
Mm-hmm. That's right. All right. The next picture. What's going on here?
He's doing a game called Mad Dog.
Mad Dog. That's right.
Trying to get them stuck at the corners.
Yes.
And this is Laura,
Mm-hmm.
and that's Mary, and that's Paul.
Yep, that's right. All right. Next picture. What's happening in this picture?
A panther is chasing him.
Yes, that's right. Crazy. That would be scary, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it happens in real life.
And what noise does the panther make? What do they call it? A scream, right?
Yeah.
It screams. It sounds like a woman screaming. Look it up on YouTube if you think of it. A panther screaming. And it's really crazy sounding. All right, the last one. What's this a picture of?
This is a picture of a bear in a cow pen.
Yes.
Which, here's Laura holding a lantern, and that's Ma, and that's the bear.
Now, Ma thinks it's a cow. She doesn't look closely. And what does she do to the bear?
She slaps him on the back.
Slaps him on the back. Because she didn't know. Yes.
And she, can't know because it's too dark, and she says to Laura, go to the house, and Laura, runs to the house.
Laura runs to the house.
And Ma runs to the house and slams the door.
That's right. All right, so what was the next one in the series that we just started?
Farmer Boy.
Farmer Boy, and it's about a boy named... Almanzo, yeah.
Almanzo.
So we will let you know what Peter thinks of that after we finish Farmer Boy. It's really fun to read books before bed and quiet rest time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
All
Bye.
right. So my June is off to a great start. I finished 3 books since we last spoke, and the first was Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors, and I have returned it to the library. That's why I don't have it with me now. I really ended up enjoying this. I gave it 4 stars, and for a contemporary romance, for me to give it 4 stars is a big deal. I do have a fair number of contemporary romances that I'm planning on reading this summer for my summer holds that I'm waiting for, like all the new releases from the library. So I'm off to a really good start with contemporary romances. And I really loved how it was adapted, for a different culture. And I liked how big of an element family was. There was one sister in particular who she was very close with. And just the different different events that had to occur that happened in Pride and Prejudice, how she translated that. It was really enjoyable, and I really miss those characters. I actually kind of feel like rereading it, so I might buy a copy of it at some point. And yeah, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Then I finished The Firebird by Susannah Kearsley, and the ending of this was incredibly rewarding and kind of the best ending I could have hoped for. And I just love Susannah Kearsley. I really enjoyed this one. And like I said, I loved having all the reward of reading The Shadowy Horses and The Winter Sea and having elements from both of those in this one. So it was really great. Then I decided, I'm kind of balancing all the different things. My currently reading, my Victober 5-star TBR predictions, my buddy reads, my library books, kind of balancing all those. So I thought I should do a currently reading, and I'm kind of trying to pick the more intimidating ones first, so I don't just leave them and they're kind of hovering and looming, and then it'll be, I'm hoping, kind of a snowball effect, as Dave Ramsey calls it, where I just the more that I get, the easier it seems to keep going. And so I finished The Heir of Redclyffe by Charlotte Yonge. This was on my Victober 5-star TBR. And it's hovering right now between 4 and 5 stars. It's like I haven't given it 5 stars, but I can't exactly think why I wouldn't give it 5 stars. I had about 250 pages of this left. So that speaks to how readable this is. And it was on Friday, I think I picked it up again and just read some Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then finished it this morning during Peter's movie. And it was just a really compelling read. I liked there was a lot of time where characters interacted with one another, spent time getting to know each other. A really enjoyable read. It basically contrasts these two different personalities, Philip and Guy, and their cousins. And Guy's family, he has some like tumultuous history in his family. And then Philip doesn't, and it kind of contrasts the morality of the two of them. And then the Edmonstones were a family, a neighboring family that they become very close with. And so there's 3 sisters, Charlotte, Amy, and Laura in that family, and then Charles, their brother. And so you really get to know them and Mr. and Mrs. Edmonstone. So I really enjoyed getting to know all of the characters. I thought the pacing was really excellent. The language was very approachable. There were some wonderful little domestic details that are in lots of Victorian literature. And trying to think of what else I wanted to say about it. I really loved the very like romantic descriptions of setting, like the weather being really dramatic and like these unbelievably beautiful sunsets. And yeah, so, and there is a little bit of travel in this, which has some nice variety in it. I remember though, you know, whenever I talk about this, I talk about the reason I wanted to read it was that it's referenced in Little Women, and Joan March is found crying and eating apples and reading The Heir of Redclyffe. And there are some really sad things that happen in it, but it doesn't seem over the top. And I was still able to, it's not a completely hopeless book. I definitely recommend this. It is long. It's around 600 pages. So I would say, you know, definitely give it some time. I started this in January, but that was right at the tail end of my like Victorian book slump, and read it for a little while. And then I was like, I need a break from Victorian literature. And I think I picked it up again in April and then just kind of took my time with it. So yeah, definitely recommend. And it was very good. Okay, so now on to the books that I am currently reading, and one is the audiobook of Wondersmith, yay, by Jessica Townsend. It's glorious. I'm about 5 hours in, and I'm just savoring every moment. Isn't it a great place to be in with your reading, with certain books while you're reading it, to just be like, I would not rather be reading anything else right now. I am so content to be reading this. So I'm not rushing it, even though I do have other audiobooks I want to get to. Especially I want to dedicate this summer and spend some time on the Victober 5-star TBR project. I kind of mapped out everything I wanted to read over the summer and then in September. But I also don't want to have burnout and then make Victober less fun. So as long as I'm thoroughly enjoying it and still really excited for Victober and to really indulge, I'm going to keep going with the project. And speaking of Victorian literature, I started The Widow Barnaby by Frances Trollope. And I cannot believe how readable it is and how funny. So Frances Trollope is mother to Anthony Trollope, and mid-July, my Victorian book club and I will be discussing The Widow Barnaby. And so I was very intimidated by it because it is over 500 pages and it's around 50 chapters. But I just started reading it and I thought, oh my goodness, this is so much fun. It's funny. I really am interested in the different characters. So it was so fun. And I know Katie from Books and Things really wanted to read it. So I just basically harassed her into doing a buddy read with me. So she's going to try to fit it in, even though she has a lot on her plate. Cause I was like, Katie, you're just really going to want to read this even more after I like won't stop talking about it. So we're going to be buddy reading that, which I'm really looking forward to. I think I'm just going to try to have that finished by the end of June, because I know Katie will be busy in July with Jane Austen July. And, but I'm really excited about it thus far. And like I said, it's so readable. I was really intimidated, but it has not felt intimidating at all. So since I added The Widow Barnaby and Wondersmith and then Farmer Boy, I started reading. Even though I eliminated the Heir of Redclyffe, Firebird, and what was the other one that I just finished? Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors. I got down to 17 on my currently reading, which is so exciting. But then it's going to go back up. But I'm making progress. And like I said, at the beginning of May, when I started vlogging, it was at 22. And so that's even with me adding new books to be at a net 18, I think is really exciting. I'm continuing on with The Last Chronicle of Barset. I'm actually a bit ahead, and that's only because I keep playing Matchington Mansion while listening to the audiobook. I'm enjoying, this is exceeding my expectations. When I read, what's it called? When I read during Victober, The Small House at Allington, I think I was just in not quite the right headspace. I experienced Anthony Trollope's novels are a lot less like passionate, and I internalize them a lot less than I do other Victorian novels. So it's just a different, more lighthearted experience. And so I think I was just more in the mood for more passionate books. That's why I think I was more in the mood for more passionate books, and that's why maybe it didn't strike as much of a chord with me. But that being said, I'm really in the mood for this, and I've been enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. And I love getting to see all of the characters from previous books interacting with one another. It's fabulous. So I am 200 pages into that, and it is 860. So only 660 pages to go. Then I'm starting today with a buddy read with the Instagrammer Aaron.Smith, Instagrammer Aaron.Smith. I'm really looking forward to this. Bloomability. This is about a little girl who ends up traveling to Switzerland, and yeah, I don't think her parents are in her life. I think maybe her parents died. Yeah, so she goes to an international school in Lugano, Switzerland. Lugano! They visited Lugano in the Heir of Redclyffe. And I looked it up, and it's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. There's a beautiful lake there. Anyhow, so that's really interesting. And I'm really looking forward to this. I am excited to have a middle grade buddy read. It just seems so much less intimidating. And I really want to make time for middle grade buddy reads because they're just so easy to get through and so fun, but emotionally engaging. Anyhow, so the next library hold, because it's due this Saturday, that I want to try is The Unlikely Adventures of the Shergill Sisters. And this is about the sisters whose mother dies, and then she wants them, her three daughters, to go on a pilgrimage. And so they don't really know each other all that well. They don't feel like they're that close. So then it's going to be interesting to see them go on this journey together. And this is 38 pages. So I'm going to keep up with this buddy read and with The Last Chronicle of Barset, but really try to plow through this, hopefully be done by Wednesday, because it is only around 300 pages, which Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors was 460 pages. So this seems like so easy. And then on Saturday, when I was between the library and the grocery store, my tire blew out. So that's why you saw me with those library books, and I did my own little try a chapter tag while I was waiting for AAA to come. It was nice because I was able to pull over into a parking lot right away and call AAA, and I wasn't like stuck on the side of a highway, and I just went into Wendy's and had some lunch. So the first one is A Boy and His Dog at the End of the World. I didn't keep Milkman in the lineup. I knew as soon as I started it wasn't for me. Me and literary fiction are very hit or miss, and I could just tell as soon. I'm like, I'm not going to push this. I'm going to return it next week, and it can go to somebody else who really wants it. So this is a dystopian book, which is not usually my jam, but Kate from the novel Nomad absolutely loved this. And I read the first chapter, and I was like, I can see why she loved this, because the storytelling is so excellent. So I will definitely be continuing on with this. I could have gladly continued on with it then and there. And then the other one is Ayesha at Last by Uzma Jalaluddin. Uzma Jalaluddin. And this is a like Muslim Pakistani retelling of Pride and Prejudice set in Toronto. And I read the first chapter of this and really liked it. And there was even a quote that I took a picture of and put on Insta stories, and everyone was saying like how funny it was. It says, because while it is a truth universally acknowledged that a single Muslim man must be in want of a wife, there's an even greater truth. To his Indian mother, his own inclinations are of secondary importance. So already it's been very winsome, and I want to continue on with this. But the first library book that I'll be working on is this one. So I do have these for 3 more weeks. But then I already saw another one of the holds will be ready next week. So this summer, I'm just going to be like juggling all the different books. And I think I'm going to end the vlog here, even though I know the last one, several people commented and said they didn't mind the long vlogs, but I guess I get intimidated by long editing. And I think I've got a good half hour of vlog here, even though I didn't vlog much. I've been talking for 15 minutes now. So I hope you are enjoying the vlogging. I'm having so much fun doing it, and I will see you for another reading vlog hopefully soon.